Hey everyone, welcome to another vintage video. This time I'm playing Justin Gennari's Rug Paradoxical Outcome list. Justin is a vintage streamer. It's I Am Actually Level 1. That's his Twitch title. So I won Vintage Champs last year with Esper Paradoxical Outcome, but that deck is largely out of favor because of Narset Parter of Veils. This card makes it so your opponents can only draw one card each turn, and this card wants to draw lots of cards every turn. So if your opponent has Narset, it becomes really hard to do anything with Paradoxical Outcome. Also, the rise in popularity of what's called a Xerox deck, which is basically aggro control or tempo control. The current builds use Dreadhorde Arcanist and Monastery Mentor, Snapcaster Mage, and just a million card draw and counter spells. So they're called Xerox because every game looks the same. It's just a copy. Like every card does the same thing. You use your cantrips, and basically every game will play out in exactly the same way. And consistency like that in Vintage is worth a lot. The good news is, though, that those decks struggle with Mana Gorger Hydra, which is a gigantic green creature. So there's one in the main and three in the board that come in those sort of matchups. Those decks also rely pretty heavily on drawing cards, so you have your own set of Narsets here. And Narset pairs well with Time Twister and Wheel of Fortune, which make both players draw 7 cards, but if only you're allowed to draw cards, then it makes your opponent discard their hand and you get a fresh one. So there's some options here to sidestep the hate that people are throwing at you. And the new card in this deck, Oko Thief of Crowns. Oko turns permanents into elks. So that does two pretty cool things for this deck. One of them is it turns your random artifacts that are sitting around into 3/3 creatures. And if you're not familiar with Vintage, a 3/3 is huge. Like, not many Vintage decks have a whole lot of removal spells, and just creating an additional 3/3 every turn and beating down could win a lot of slow games. Also, Oko turns any creature or artifact into an elk, and it loses all its abilities. Good targets for that might be something like Null Rod, Collector Oof, Trinisphere, Sphere of Resistance, Thorn of Amethyst, Phyrexian Revoker. Like, there's a lot of good hits for Oko. So that's a really cool card. It's currently showing up in Oath of Druids, which is also a really cool place for it. I have a couple videos of that on the channel. Go check it out. And with the metagame shifting in that kind of direction, that Oath of Druids is playable again, combo decks tend to crush Oath of Druids, like faster, bigger combo decks. So it might be that Paradoxical Outcome has come full circle and is playable again. So I know Justin's been doing well with this deck, and I'm going to try it out, because if I can play PO, I will. Alright, so we're paired against one Luis Scott Vargas, who earlier today was posting about Oko Oath. So I don't know if that means anything, but I have a perfectly keepable hand either way. I'm going to keep it. We both kept 7. So I'm going to ponder. If I find like Black Lotus or something and get to jam Narset. Alright, he had his one of Mental Misstep. Got us. I'll play my Emerald. I'm going to play it out in case... Oh, he's obviously not Chops because he has Mental Misstep in his deck. Oh, great. I know Luis has been... Remember that time I said how busted Black Lotus Narset would be on turn 1? Well, here we are. But I know Luis has a PO deck that he's pretty happy with. Okay, so this is Oath. Good to know. That was a really good draw. So now we can protect Narset with Force of Will, and then we both have Narset. And pitching Preordain is basically free because he has Narset. Force of Negation, pitching Preordain. Force of Will, pitching Preordain. And we're in there. Dig Through Time is the only card with text here, because I'm miles away from Force of Will. Brainstorm is just a horrendous proposition. Just kind of gotta hope he doesn't have Oath here, because that could get me. But he's had 8 extra looks at Oath here, thanks to Narset. He found Dig Through Time. Now we're playing Magic. Okay, so he does have Oath. Gave me multiple creatures, so it's likely to trigger. I get to kill his Narset, though, with my spirits in combat. Alright, let's see what Narset reveals for us. Wheel of Fortune. That's a pretty good card. I think that's worth just jamming. Yeah, so I'm going to grab this wheel. Play Opal. Attack his Narset first is definitely be embarrassing to wheel into multiple Narsets. Alright, this deck does contain Tolarian Academy, so I'm not going to make my land drop yet. Oh no, he had a Force, another one. Okay, so... Oh, and Dig is the last card in hand? Wow, that's a good hand he's got over there. That's why he's a Hall of Famer. Alright, so... Grizzlebrand we might be able to beat. Niv Mizzet we probably can never beat at all. Alright, so Grizzlebrand is in play. Alright, I am going to fetch, because I don't want to draw a land here. Alright, so Oko is an insane draw here. Turning Grizzlebrand into an Elk would be so funny. Got a lot of good draws. We also have a lot of bricks, so we'll see what happens. Mana Crypt, what do you do for me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mana Crypt turns on Mox Opal. That's a pretty big deal. Alright, so I'm going to cast the Crypt. Let's dig. Hope he didn't draw a Force or a Red Blast. Oh, he's going to dig in response. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so... There's a lot of Force of Wills in his graveyard already. 1, 2, 3... 3 Force of Wills and a Force of Negation already in his graveyard. So he's looking for... He has 7 looks at a probably 1 outer. And he found it, naturally. Never not. Alright, so now we're in all kinds of trouble. As you can attack with... Oh, he gets to Oath again, so Niv Mizzet's going to also come into play if he wants it. Yeah, there's Niv Mizzet. He only has 4 cards left in his deck, though, so we'll see what happens here. Whenever a player plays an instant sorcery, you draw a card. That's not optional, so... He's going to need a Gaia's Blessing or something to stay alive. This Time Walk is also just lethal straight up. Alright, there's the Blessing, putting Force Time Walk back into the deck. Alright, so if I can Ancestral Recall him, I might win. Alright, lost the flip. So we're dead on board. And we're just dead. Alright. Opponent drew every possible force of will that was available to him. Alright, the good news is this matchup's pretty good, though. Alright, so I'm going to bring in my Red Blast and Flusterstorm. I don't actually have any way to remove Oath of Druids. So I'm going to have to win the counter war or just kill him through it. I don't think Lightning Bolt or Hurkyl's Recall are useful here. I mean, Lightning Bolt pressures Narset, but so does Pyroblast, and we're bringing in a bunch of those. Grape Shot can also pressure Narset. As the decision, the other decision is to lean into Managorger Hydra. Like, do I bring in more to really pressure him? Or do I take them out to try to play a creatureless game? Let's see what we want to take out to answer that question. I think I want to cut Time Twister against the other blue deck. That's certainly bringing in a bunch of Red Blasts as well. Merchant Scroll's pretty susceptible to Red Blast. Because I have these Snapcasters anyway, so Gorger. Like, I'm going to have creatures regardless. Maybe I do just want to go Gorgerless. Then my only creature is Snapcaster. Now I'm going to try to bring some pressure, because with Oko, I could even answer a messed up monster if he plays it. Yeah, I'm going to try it like this. I'm not going to bring in like Tormod's Crypt, even though I think it would have won the last game for me. Alright, now I have a pile of restricted cards. He got me with Misstep into Black Lotus Narset last game, so he had a lot of restricted cards. Let's take a peek. Alright, so this is a super awkward Oath hand. Classic Oath over there. This hand doesn't do a whole lot. So I could Ancestral, or I could just Time Walk and then try to Managorger next turn. Like, I could stick Managorger before he does anything. Or I could just make sure this Ancestral resolves. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, now we got Black Lotus, so everything is happening. So I could ship the turn, or I could power out this Gorger. Yeah, definitely just gorging. Alright, so when he ponders, Gorger gets bigger. When he sapphires, Gorger gets bigger. This Time Walk is going to be pretty good. Like, it represents a lot of damage. Alright, yep, and he's just going into it. He knows that what he has to do to win this game is put a monster into play. A red source would be my best draw. Hello, red source. Good to see you. And it's one that triggers Gorger, no less. Storm is 2. Do I have lethal with Grape Shot? All right, he just conceded. Yeah. Reasonable enough. So we took turns having Black Lotus on turn 1. Welcome to Vintage. He brought in Ancient Grudge. I didn't bring any, like, cages or anything because I don't have any. Engorger certainly went ape there, but he had an awkward hand and I had Black Lotus, so I'm not sure if we can count on that. Maybe 2 is the right number. Yeah, I think I like that, especially after like beating down last game. If he changes his board plan in any kind of way, like bring in removal or whatever, I don't want to have like more Gorgers. Alright, my hand is perfectly playable. Let's hope nothing too broken happens on his side. Okay. That's not an orchard. Alright, Preordain is cool. Bottom, bottom. You love to see it. How about Black Lotus off the top? Mana Vault. Mana Vault's also a pretty good card. But I'm going to cast top instead. Because top can start doing stuff immediately. Like, if I cast Mana Vault and he's just like, Ancient Grudge, Mana Vault, that would be pretty horrendous. Ooh. Guess what time is it? It's 1 land o'clock over there. I didn't fetch because I didn't want him to, like, Ancestral in response to my fetch. Now I can run out this Mana Vault. I could even PO for 4 cards right now with Red Blast backup. If I wait a turn, I can do it with Red Blast and Flusterstorm backup. Yeah, I'm going to be a little patient. He's shown me his hand is not good. So if I can just spin the top for a turn and then go off with double protection, that's pretty sweet. Oko, Misty, Valk. I don't actually want any of these. Why isn't it letting me click? Okay. So I'm going to go for the fetch here. If he fires off Ancestral, end step, like whatever. Gitaxian Probe, second PO. Yeah, that's pretty good. I guess I did need a land to have the double protection spell up. But I can probe to see what he's working with. Hopefully it's just one of those awkward oath hands like we saw last game. Red Blast. Okay. I'm going to take that as a sign of weakness. That he didn't want me to know what he had over there. I think Flusterstorm is the better counterspell here. Because Red Blast can kill a Resolve Narset later. Bummer. Yeah, I punted this game. I should have left one of the lands on top. I just, like, thought I was there already, but I'm not. Alright, so I'm going to spin top now. Because I'm about to draw this Preordain. Alright, then we can just jam Narset next turn, I guess. Alright, well, he's down to almost Hellbent. Pitched Oko and Narset. Still hasn't hit a land drop, which means he just has 3 spells in hand. This is the top. So I think I want to preordain rather than Narset. Like, I don't want to hang this otherwise sweet hand out to dry against like a random red blast. I'm going to bottom Gorger also. Motobug. Alright, so having one Gorger is fine. Oh, God. We're just getting Orchard Oathed. Alright, time to find a Force of Will. Alright, we did find Force of Will, but do we care, I guess, is the follow-up question. Like, if I just draw Moxjet, then I can go off. If I do flip this, then I can't go off. So 1, 2, the vault's not going to untap. So I'm going to be operating, my options are either try to force this and lose Narset, but then I just get to cast Hydra. Yeah, that sounds good enough. Okay, and now we have the beats. I'm just jamming Gorger here and start attacking. We might be able to kill him in one turn with a future PO. Just hope there's not a double oath here. Alright, just nothing. Alright, we should be pretty far ahead now. Alright, we're gonna get large. I'm going to spin my top, see if Time Walk is just randomly there. It is. Alright, so I'm just going to leave that on top. I'm not going to go for it. Like, so far everything I've done is played around Red Blast, and I want to continue doing that if it's an option. Rutrow. Cast something blue. Alright, and we got it. Yeah, Gorger just punishing the awkward oath draw twice in a row. Alright, so we are on the play. Our hand has lots of mana and some cantrips. This is a keep all day, every day. Especially in the one mental misstep universe. I love it. So I'm going to start with... So I could preordain. Yeah, I'm going to preordain. Brainstorm could just win the game right on the spot, but so does this. Oh wait, I'm one short, aren't I? No, I'm not. I'm good. Top. So I can PO for 3, which lets me Ancestral Recall. Though we haven't done anything yet that they would Force of Will if they could, but here's the real test. Wow, okay. So we're just doing it. How do I get this Gorger into play this turn? I'm not sure if I can. I'll need a Mox Emerald. Oh. Alright, and the wheels keep on turning. Rolling on a river. I can't get top into play before this PO, but I think that's fine. And now we have Force back up. Not that we're going to need it, because they obviously have nothing. Okay, so Storm is already 11. Now I have to figure out if I need to sequence this Gorger into my chain or if I just have lethal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I'm just going to get Gorger in, just in case. There's no black cards in the deck, so I'm going to use my black mana as quote-unquote colorless to cast Vault. Now this is a little awkward, because I want the Lotus to make blue, so I'll make green with this one. Always yield to Gorgeous. So now even if we whiff, which we probably can't. Yeah, 18, 19, 20. Okay, yeah, so we just have lethal. It's Lethal Storm with a Gorger still floating. Force of Will backup. So pop this for red and we're done. I will make them Grape Shat for 21. Oh, turn 1. We have no idea what they're up to. All right, now we get to sideboard without knowing what they're doing, which in Vintage is just a nightmare. So basically our choices are like they could be a fair blue deck that just kept a hand without Force of Will, not expecting to die immediately. Though on the draw in Vintage, keeping a fair blue hand on the draw without any counterspell at all, they didn't even have a misstep, is kind of suspicious. So they could be Shops or Dredge. Shops just has to F6 through turn 1. Dredge, they kept 7 with no powder, no mulligan, which could just mean they just had Bazaar, though that's not super likely. And it's likely enough. I think it's like 40% or something, but like 60% of the time they'll have to mulligan at least once. So I'm going to hedge as if they're Shops, like just a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way deep on that, but I'm going to bring in some Hercules recalls. Cut Merchant Scroll. And I'm going to cut Pyroblast. So it's just like a small hedge like their Shops. If they are a blue deck, this is a terrible plan. If they're Dredge, we can still just go fast and win first. Or maybe I should treat it like we didn't even play a game. Maybe a smaller hedge, like leave in my Pyroblast, cut Lightning Bolt. Now Lightning Bolt's also getting into the blue decks because of Narset. So I'll just bring in one extra Herx and cut this Merchant Scroll. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend that I'm confident in this plan, but for obvious reasons, there's no confidence to be had. I think I'm going to cut these draw 7s either way. Bring in another land and another Gorger. All right, I'm going to play this. Just complete wild madness in the dark. We have no idea what they're doing. Okay, so on the draw, we have a turn 1 Narset, essentially, because we time walk, then cast Narset. They kept 7 again. Let's see what they're up to. All right, they are a blue deck. All right, so they're a basic island preordained kind of deck. This could be Xerox. Could also be the Mirror. Could be Oath. Though it's weird they fetched a basic, because you don't really have to do that against PO decks. So I'm suspicious. Let's just take a walk for the ramps. I'm going to hold the opal for now because in case I storm off next turn, it's one extra storm, and it's not doing anything for me in play right now. And having double Narset's pretty nice. So I could fetch a basic in case they are a wasteland deck, but I think I need to get my colors online. That's probably more important. And green is my more important color, I think. I don't think they would have kept a 7 without a Force of Will this time, after what happened to them last game. Yeah, so Narset is just being him to Turok here, taking a Snapcaster Mage and a Force out of their hand. That's fine. And I'm not going to play Opal now because I don't want to hang out Ancient Grudge targets. Alright, so this could be land still. Tundra, it could still be Xerox. They top. Oh, Black Lotus. Oh no, don't Narset me. This card is garbage. I mean, I'm sitting here with one in my hand. I understand, but that's the arms race we're in. It's just who can Narset fastest and hardest. Alright, that card does not stop my Narset from coming into play. So I could snap Time Walk here and put their Narset down to 1 so they can't activate her again. I kind of like that. And then I get to Narset myself. And if this doesn't work, then it's just another Force of Will. Alright, they did have another Force of Will. Okay. Forge pitching Flusterstorm. Unfortunately, they did manage to spike a Narset, or a Brainstorm in our hand with their Narset, which is like the worst card to have in your hand. Like Preordain, at least you can scry 2. Like Ancestral, you can draw 1 on their turn. Great. We're getting vintaged. Yeah, they had 2 Force of Wills, unfortunately, in there. The cards they saw in the beginning of the game. So that's tough to play through. Also, if this was a non-Opal Mox, we'd be miles ahead right now. Alright, there's the Stony Silence. That card's hard to beat, but we did bring in Gorgers. We have Oko. We have our third Narset. Maybe one of them will resolve someday. Do you have a third Force of Will in your top 19 cards? You sure do. Okay. Pitching Lavinia. Alright. Well, we have the third one on lock, and theirs is out of reloads. Alright, well, we're getting wasted. Alright, so this is almost certainly a land still deck. Cool. Alright, third time's a charm. Force of Will, PO, Preordain. I'm going to take the Force, because I have the Brainstorm that's just free to pitch. Now we're just in the holding pattern. This pause is interesting. They have 1 card in hand. They know I just picked up a Force of Will. I guess they were just rolling the dice that I didn't have a blue card to go with it. Not sure I would have made that play. Oh, now I have Pyroblast, so I'm going to grab that because it can clear Narset. I'm going to hold it up, though, for now. All right, so they know about this Pyroblast, which is interesting that they're making a play. What card do you have? Just nothing. Okay, they're just fetching. So, like, ooh, I was going to say Mana Gorger Hydra is my best draw here, but Oko is awfully good, too. Now we get to kill Narset and keep our Pyroblast in hand. Alright, I don't even care that it's an Elk because it already didn't have any abilities from Stony Silence. Getting in. I should have played Opal last turn. I would have had another 3/3, but instead I have to make a food. So I played my land to represent Force of Will, even though I don't have it. I could have kept it in case I draw Brainstorm. Needle. Bummer. That's going to name Oko. I wish I had 2 Elks, but I'm stuck with just the one because I didn't play my Opal. That was a mistake. Alright, Oko has kind of done his job, though. Yeah, put a thing into play. Alright, Snapcaster. So I could snap Time Walk, which puts them to 3 life. Or I could hold up Pyroblast, snap Pyroblast. I think that's probably better. Like, if they just do nothing, then I can... Like, if they let me get another attack in, then snap Time Walk is lethal. Alright, so now you're dead. And that's the game. Oko, Thief of Crowns, taking it over. Alright, so we're playing against Montolio, who is famous for being great at shops, but also sometimes plays Dredge on Magic Online. And he did take a mulligan. We're on the draw. I have Force of Will, Academy, Narset. Like, if he is shops, Force Pitching, Misstep is basically free. We have some acceleration. I'm going to keep this. Alright, he's good on 6. Alright, it is Dredge this time. Gonna have to try to go fast. I can Force of Will an Unmask if he's got one. Hollow one. Do I want to force that? I might. So, Hollow one can pressure Narset, but so does Icarid. Yeah, I don't think that's the access I'm going to win this game on. So I got to try to go for speed. The basic island does not help me there. So Narset, unfortunately, does not line up well here. I'm not going to play Crypt. Narcomoeba. Alright, 2 Narcomoebas and a bridge. So the beats are coming. Oh, also Prized Amalgam. Okay, so this is a pretty explosive first dredge. Alright. Easy Icarid to bring back now that he's got all these bridges, or a bridge. No Cabal Therapy yet, but I have Misstep for that. I need something really good. Probably like... So how much damage am I taking? I'm taking 7 right now to 13. I'm going to have to fetch to 12. He gets a zombie. And then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm like at 1 just with what's happening so far. If I force, I'm at 0. If I misstep, I'm dead. So I have to win next turn. So my next, depending on what he does, my next calculation is it worth showing him any other cards in my deck? All right, he hit a therapy. Luckily, only 1. I am going to hard cast Mental Misstep on the therapy. Yeah, the second bridge also. Or I could just see what he thinks I'm doing. Alright, I'm going to let that resolve, actually. I changed my mind. If we win this game, we're going to have to combo off next turn. And having Force and the other thing... Alright, he did name Force of Will. Okay. So now we probably just lose. If he cares that we have Force of Will, then that means he has his own. Our hand doesn't really give anything away, though. Like it has Narset, Mental Misstep. We have a bunch of blue cards in our hand. All these cards are in blue decks. And now we're very, very dead on board. Time Walk? Right, Preordain is not what we're looking for. I'm not going to fetch Trop because I don't want to show him green mana if I don't have to. Bottom, and if I get Emerald, that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana to play with. But all of my blue mana has to go into Narset. So that's not actually any use at all. Alright, and we're dead. Okay. We lost game 1 to Dredge. Surprise, surprise. Alright, so Tormod's Crypts are coming in. Lightning Bolt can kill my own creatures to exile bridges, but that's not a plan in Vintage as much as it is in Legacy. Like in Legacy, you can just exile their bridges slowly and beat them in a fair game, but that's not really how Vintage works. Hurkyl's Recall doesn't do anything. Alright, so I'm off the Bolt plan. I don't like it. I like Flusterstorm because Dredge does have a ton of spells in it. Wheel of Fortune is dangerous. Time Twister is still good, though. This is probably not an Oko matchup. Alright, that gives me an extra card to play with. Could bring another Pyroblast in. Yeah, I think that's probably fine. All right, let's do it. Okay, so my hand is functional, but functional against Vintage Dredge is frequently not good enough. So I'm going to mulligan for something better. All right, he took a powder mulligan and also went to 6. There's no hate, nothing. There's nothing busted in this hand, so I'm going to ship this too. Okay, so I have a hate card and kind of a way forward. I'm going to keep this one. Like I can probe and then next turn snap probe. All right, so I'm going to keep. One of these opals is definitely going, and I think the other opal is also going. Ley line of white. All right. Shit. I will look at my own hand then. Tormod's Crypt. I've been betrayed. I don't think we're winning this one. Like, the only way to power through a ley line, when your hate doesn't work, you just have to kill them. And mulling to 5 makes it pretty hard to kill them. Like, this hand is not even close to going broken. All right, he doesn't have a dredger though, so that's pretty cool. We're likely to get unmasked here. Okay, yeah, there's the unmask. I'm gonna let it resolve because he's gonna take the snap probably, and if I forced, then I would have lost snap anyway, and I would have just protected the information that I have Tormod's Crypt, Volcanic Island in hand, which is not particularly important information. Yep, there goes the snap. No surprise there. Come on, Ancestral Recall. Great. All right, I'll run out this crypt since now he knows. I don't want to give him any freebies off Cabal Therapy, though he would just really just take Force anyway. Wow. Why? That's really interesting. I wonder... That's really interesting. Huh. I'm no dredge expert, but I am pretty surprised by that play. Alright, he missed on a dredger again. Just hope this draw step isn't bizarre number 2. Alright, it wasn't. Alright, so now we need... If we find a mana source, we can Narset and maybe get something going. Alright, still no dredger. This has been a weird game. Mana source? Fuck. Someday. Still no dredger. Mana source, please. If we can stick this Narset when he's desperately digging with Bazaar, we can actually win this game. How about Black Lotus? All right, so I have to keep this and just hope that he misses one more time. And he is more than halfway through the deck. Wow, still hasn't found a dredger. This is insane. This is genuinely nuts. And now Narset is going to really slow down this Bizarring. I can cast her with Flusterstorm up, though I don't know what one card in hand he could have to punish me there. PO, Opal, second Narset, top. Top is definitely the take here. Is this Misstep in the graveyard yet? Misstep is unaccounted for. But I'm not here to play slow. There are still Gorgers in my deck, right? Alright, yeah, there's still one Gorger in my deck. I'm going to need it because I don't think I have an answer to this ley line. Wow, what a weird game. Yeah, I definitely want these Moxen. Opal is the better Mox since I have Metalcraft. Sapphire, Delta, another top. I want the Delta so I can shuffle away and get some fresh ones next turn. If I play these two things out, I still can't hardcast Force, so I'm just going to hold. Alright, the draw one, discard 3. Uh-oh, he found a Dredger. Now we're actually playing a game. You can replace all his draws with dredges now, so Narset isn't actually stopping him from doing anything. It's going to be so gross when we lose this game where he didn't do anything for the first 40 cards in his deck. Does he not know how this works? He should definitely be bazaring, unless he is worried about decking. Is that possible? Like I said, I'm no dredge expert. Let me consult my deck list real quick, see how I can actually win this. Yeah, it's Gorger or bust. Like, I don't actually have a way to remove Leyline, like, in the 75. So I can't storm him out. Alright, these are not good cards. Alright, PO is a pretty good card. So I can draw 5 next turn. Or I could draw 3 right now. So I don't want Brainstorm. I want PO on top. So if I flip this top, then I can PO for 3 right now. I think I have to do that. And I have the Flusterstorm and Force of Will to back it up. Yeah, I gotta get through this deck. I can pick up Narset also. I think I have to do that. We know Sol Ring is coming off this draw. Didn't really go far though. And this Leyline is such a beating. Like, it was probably worth just skipping his first several turns to get this Leyline into play. Maybe I should have brainstormed here instead of casting Narset. Alright, so he's going to get his dredge on in response. So that makes me think that he didn't know he could keep dredging. That was not a huge hit there. He's got 10 cards left. Did I board out Wheel of Fortune? I did. Alright, that sucks. Alright, there's a PO. I can't cast it right now, though, and... How many therapies does he have access to? 1... Just 1. Oh yeah, 2 are in exile already. Alright. So I'll grab this PO. Cast this top. Alright, and he is Hellbent. How many Icarids are there? 1. Just 1 Icarid, wow. Oh yeah, because one is in exile. Hogak's in exile. I'm at 15. That's a lot. I'm going to play this backup Opal. So now I have Force and Flusterstorm available now. And I can top end step if he just does nothing. It's just kind of crazy that to win this game, I'm going to have to get Mana Gorger into play, get it huge, and then Time Walk. Either that or deck him somehow. Oh, he hit a second therapy. That's miserable. Like, I can't even Ancestral him out because he has Leyline. There's Hogak. Though he can't cast Hogak and pressure me at the same time. He could attack with just Icarid to kill Narset. Alright, yeah, face, Narset. So I'm going to have to Flusterstorm one of the therapies and force the other one. Because he's going to take PO. For sure. And PO is my only reasonable path to victory here. Alright, so we're just going to have to PO and go Nutty Bananas here. We can do it. Like, this is totally doable. Oh yeah, therapy, Hogak. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just full of shit when I said he can't attack and make things. It's been a minute since Hogak was in play against me. Alright, so all 4 therapies are in exile. We don't have to worry about that. We are dead on board, though. We should worry about that a little bit. Ponder. Alright. Don't need to ponder yet. Alright, the only card in his hand is a dredge creature of some variety. Ooh, I could just pick off all the zombies. That's interesting. Alright, we're just going to have to click through this. Hope I don't run out of cards in my deck. Oh, I have Twister. So Twister is still in here, right? Yeah, Twister's still in the deck. So I need to find my 1 Mana Gorger, make it huge, Time Walk Twister, make it huge some more, and kill him. Yeah, that is the plan. Let's see if it works. It's a pretty good plan. I think it's fine. Alright, so draw Infinity. Alright, there's the Gorger. Alright. And Time Walk is still in my deck somewhere. There it is. Okay. We also have a million Force of Wills. Let's see if we can make this Gorger lethal right now. Oh, there should be another Snapcaster in my deck too. Like I could snap multiple Time Walks, Grape Shot all his zombies. Okay, so there's a clear path out of this. There's one snap still in my deck. All right. Restriction breeds creativity. That's where we are. Guess I should have tapped Crypt to pay for Soul Ring in a perfect world. Hopefully it doesn't matter, but that's not a good excuse. Black Lotus. I want the Preordain. It's going to be a lot of fun trying to target all these zombies with the correct number of grape shots. I don't actually even want Lotus. I want Snapcaster Mage. Alright, Time Twister is also a good one. Dig Through Time. That will 100% find me Snapcaster Mage because it looks at my... Oh, no. Yeah, it looks at my whole deck. Snapcaster is one of the top 2 cards. So I should be able to just top to find Snapcaster. Hey, where'd my Snapcaster go? I play 2. That's weird. Yeah, I didn't sideboard one out. Alright, so I'll show him the Time Walk here. And then I'm going to Grape Shot only the zombies. Okay, he scooped it up to that. Nice. Alright, we navigated that one somehow. Alright, so now I need to bring in the Gorger because I can't actually beat Leyline. That makes the Crypts kind of sketch, but like, he's not going to mulligan a hand that has Bazaar for a hand that has Bazaar and Leyline. So I think I just have to leave in my Crypts, play the numbers, and hope that he doesn't spike that hand again. But also, like that game showed, he kept the hand that had Bazaar Leyline, but no action or dredgers. Like if he had a dredger, even in the first like 3 turns, he would have won that game easily. But luckily, that was not the case. But I do want to make room for at least one more Gorger. He did not, or yeah, he did show me Force of Negations and lots of free spells. So, still like that Time Twister. Not sure if I like Wheel. It could kill him. But I don't know if that's a good plan. There's both snaps. Maybe Narset is just too slow on the draw, though it feels kind of stupid to cut a 3-mana card for a different 3-mana card. A 3-mana card that is even slower. I think it's going to be a better plan to just go off either way. Is Wheel or Narset the better card? I think it's got to be Narset. So I'm not actually changing anything. I just spent 2.5 minutes talking about how I'm going to change something and then didn't do it. And whatever, if that's the world we live in. Time Twister is a lot worse on the draw, but knowing that I have to make a big Gorger and attack, that makes me want to leave it in. All right, so he's on 6 already. We have Ancestral Recall. I'm going to keep this hand with Ancestral Recall. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe that's right. I'm not sure. All right, he's on 4. Doing that dredge thing. So let's see if he's got the ley line, if he wants the ley line. I guess if you have it, you want it, obviously. All right, so he does have the ley line. He has a 4-card ley line hand. Bizarre. So if he bizarres, he's only going to have 1 card in hand at the end of it. So, all right. Him passing here without bizarring is a little bit interesting. So I'm going to save this Ancestral until he activates Bizarre. Because I don't want him to be able to force it easily. Like right now it's misstep or bust. All right, and discarding an extra card to hand size is not the worst thing in this matchup. All right, he hit a Dredger though, so we could just lose. There's a Narcomoeba. He's got a Therapy. He has 3 prized amalgams. Holy shit. Yeah, we're going to have to win this game pretty quick. I bet he's going to name PO with the blind Therapy. He's got 5 more dredges here from his draw step. Fuck, he hit a bridge. That's lame. So now he can definitely hit a card off Therapy. He's probably going to name PO with the first one and strip Narset or Ponder with the second one. Yeah, we needed him not to hit bridge on that last one. Yep, named PO to the surprise of no one. He could name Mana Vault and make this Academy and this Opal a lot worse. He could name Narset. I don't think he's going to go after the dig. Vault would be a pretty heads-up take. Yep, here's the other one. Mana Vault. All right. He made the heads-up play. I hate when my opponent has their head up. So let's just draw Mox and punish that. Or like Black Lotus and win the game immediately. Gorgeous. So I think I have to Ponder. None of these are helpful. Like PO doesn't do anything. I can't even cast it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to shuffle. Not helpful. Yeah, this one has gotten away from us. Dredge is so messed up. So there's 3, 6, 9. I'm taking 18 just from what's in play. And I don't even really have a top deck out. I guess like Snap Ancestral. Am I missing anything? Am I dead now? I'm not dead now. Not yet. Okay, still not dead now. So I'm going to get a turn at 2 life. And he does not have a card in hand that matters. So I am going to get one chance to make it rain here. Basically, I have to Snap Ancestral into Lotus Time Walk. But the outs exist. They're just skinny. Oh, this is bad. Maybe Dig Through Time was better. My bad. And we're dead. Thoroughly dredged. Yeah, that match makes me want to have like a Chain of Vapor or something somewhere in the deck. Just being that dead to a single hate card is kind of obnoxious. Alright, so we're on the play. My hand doesn't do anything. This hand's pretty good. It's not a turn 1 Narset, but it's pretty close. It's a turn 2 Narset with lots of mana to spare. So the choice is ship Snapcaster or ship Volcanic Island. I could also ship Opal. Like if I keep Opal and they misstep Soul Ring, then I can't cast Mana Vault and I can't turn on Opal. Okay, yeah, I'm going to bottom Opal. I'm going to trade Explosiveness for stability. Our opponent's on 5. Oh, they're probably on Dredge. Alright, the opponent kept on 5. So I'm going to fetch a basic in case they are just like shops. Let's get this mana into play. Alright, so they're just F6'd over there. They gotta be either shops or dredge to F6, like they weren't even pretending. Oh, wow, strip mine. Okay, so it might be shops. And that would be super lame to get just punished by Strip Mine Wasteland when I kept this hand to be stable against like Strip Mine Wasteland. Ancient Tomb. What are you doing with it? Scrapyard Recombiner. Oh my god. Search your library for a construct. Put it into your hand. Okay. That's a magic card that exists. Let's find a blue source. Or PO. Let's just draw PO. That's way better than a blue source. Alright, we got a blue source. Maybe I should tap Soul Ring instead of Mox. Oh my god, I just misclicked. Fuck my life. Okay. Whoops. That's probably going to cost me the game. Oh well, at least we have a blocker. Oh no, he can attack through my Snapcaster now. We don't have a blocker anymore. Well, instead of having fresh spells in hand and Snapcaster ready to bring them back, now we just don't. But we're going to draw PO and win anyway. Never punished. It might even look like I played Snap on purpose to set this up. I'll take credit for that. Don't watch this video, opponent. Alright, so I can blue, blue, snap it all around again. Spin these wheels. Alright, so we have a Gorger and a Time Walk. That should win the game. Yep, there's even another PO hanging out in there. Yeah, this one is elementary from here. Sorry for the radio silence. Feel free to fast forward about 3 minutes. Maybe I should just cast the Time Walk and see if they scoop. It might save us both some time. Because they know about Snapcaster also. Alright. Alright, they're making me click it out. That's fine. That is their right. Though they are already dead. And I'll go to my... I guess I should spin top. So if I find Black Lotus... what I should have done is snap Time Walk right now. But it mostly doesn't matter. 1, 2... 3 and 4. I can also Herc for lethal. That'll save me some upkeep triggers. Alright, get your cards out of here and take 17. Misclick, still didn't matter. I love the PO versus Shops matchup. Love it so much. Alright, so against Shops, we want Hercule's Recall, extra mana source. Might want Lightning Bolt. Let's see how this lines up. I haven't actually boarded with this list yet to know what's what. Pyroblast, Mental Misstep are easy cuts. I like cutting Merchant Scroll in this matchup. Wheel and Twister are pretty good on the play. I don't know if I want them on the draw. Narset's also a little wonky, but Narset is better than Twister and Wheel. Alright, so that's 4 cards. I can make it 5 if I want to bring in the Bolt, which I'm pretty sure I do. Hitting Phyrexian Revoker is a big deal. Oko's here for Null Rods. The rest of these cards are all pretty good. Oh, Gataxian Probe. That's a bad card too. So I might want another Gorger. Especially if they're on this like weird scrapyard recombiner build. Like maybe just a beefy creature is exactly what I'm looking for. Though Walking Ballista is a construct, so I would have to make this pretty big pretty quick. So maybe I'll just bring Time Twister back in. Give myself another busted draw 7. Alright, I like this. Let's do it. So what we're looking for in an opening hand is a Force of Will and some fast mana. Like, I'd keep any hand that meets those criteria. Okay, so we have Force of Will and some fast mana. I'm going to keep this. And we even have Hurkyl's Recall, so we don't necessarily have to force everything. We could play a slower game, depending on what they do here, obviously. Like, I kind of have to force, like, Null Rod. Thorn of Amethyst. I don't have to force that. I even have basic land, so I can play through this Wasteland. Like, I can like Island, Mox, Lotus this turn, hold up Force of Will. It would suck to burn my Lotus casting Force of Will, but I'm going to get this mana out anyway. So if they just like play some creature, I can Time Walk or bolt the creature. If they play Revoker, they're going to name Lotus, and I can just bolt that, so that's fine. Having Mox Ruby is lucky, because otherwise we'd have to fetch Volcanic Island straight into this Wasteland. Alright, so they have a Sphere of Resistance. I'm not going to force that either. That's still in Hurkyl's Recall range. Especially if we keep hitting these land drops. Pretty sure there's 2 basics in this list. Oh my god, there's 3. Justin is so smart. Alright, so we can play around Wasteland for a long time here. Alright, that can get lightning bolted. I'm not sure if I even need to do that, but I'm going to. Like, I definitely want to punish them for having all these spheres out. Like, no free lunch on my watch. I could Time Walk here. I'm going to do that. Get that 3rd basic land. Juicy. Let's dig a little deeper. Alright, we have to play something into the Wasteland now, but I have so much mana that that's actually fine. They missed a land drop, so the Wasteland might hurt them more than it hurts me. Alright, I'm not going to spend a Force of Will on that. Like, sitting on this Herc now that we have infinite mana, like, we're just waiting for a payoff. Even if I sack Lotus, I could hardcast Force. I don't want to go there, but it's a thing. Yeah, so there was an Emerald stranded in their hand under these double spheres. And they're still tapping Wasteland for mana, so they are being affected by their hate cards here. Stone Coil Serpent for 4. Okay. That's just a creature. Find me a payoff, and we'll be alright here. So if I Herc, I can 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could hard cast Force. No, that's not worth doing. 7. I can take 7 at least once. Probably exactly once. If they wasteland me this turn, I might... No, Herking is still pretty bad there. Alright. What do you got? Tap out again. Alright, so I might Herc at the end of this turn regardless, because they have a lethal attack. It's not quite lethal, but if I fetch or cast one of these forces, it becomes lethal. So I might just try to like pump the end of this turn, and then if I draw a payoff, I just win. If I don't, then I bought another turn, and I can try to strategically force something. Alright, now they do have a lethal attack. Is this Ballista? Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to force Ballista. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. And I can hardcast this force just all the way through. Bam. Should have wasted me in combat. We'll see if they even want a wasteland here. Like, I have so much mana. Alright, sure. Let's draw a payoff. Or just some card. That's not it. Alright, so... I guess I could have Herked... No, the mana's the same. No, it's not. Yeah, if I Herc first there, then play the Sapphire, I can hold up something else. I have to Herc here. Unfortunately, they're gonna end up with... Alright, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah. Alright, we may have bricked this game. Because they get to redeploy at least one of the spheres. Yeah, if I had Herked on my turn, I would have 2 more mana up and I could hardcast a force on one of these things. Alright. And the game continues. Hopefully he just goes for lethal with Ravager right now. That's my dream. It's kind of bleeding out to that Ancient Tomb over there, so there's some pressure to get this game over with. Yep, there's the Ravager. There's the other Ravager. Can't block. Shove all in. Shove all in. Oh my god, they're doing it. Alright, how far are they going? If they sack these Mox in, I guess they'll have to sack at least one to make this a lethal attack. Oh, sacking the Thorn. Okay. And I can hardcast Force too. So this is a pretty good setup. I think that attack was good for what it's worth. It just did not work out for them this time. And I'm going to force the Foundry Inspector. So, am I? Yeah, I am. I'm doing this because unless they have another Mox or land, then they can't replay the sphere anyway. And this way they don't have a clock. All right. And we're just treading water. They're at 6 with that Ancient Tomb. They only have 3 more taps of that thing. I'm going to let Sphere resolve if that's what they lead with, because I just need to keep threats off the board at this point. All right, they drew a land. It's not a very good one. It's not Workshop, is what I mean by that. Ooh, this is the Stonecoil Serpent, probably. Womp. All right, there's Grape Shot, and they're at 4. So if they tap Ancient Tomb one more time, if I draw literally any spell, they die. Uh-oh, that's a scary one. That was a bad card for them to draw. For me. Okay, so they're at 2. I just need any spell. Like, any spell. I guess, no, if they name Lotus, then I still have Ruby. So I do have red either way. All right, deck. There aren't many lands left in you. Okay, okay. And then we win. Oh, we super win. Shot him out. Didn't need all that. I kind of wished it was just preordained for the style points, but that was a weird game, and we managed to cobble it together. Okay, so we're on the draw, and our hand is real good. If this is like Dredge or something, we're just dead. But this has a turn 1 Gorger with Force of Will backup. That's pretty good. There are a lot of decks I would struggle with that. So let's hope we're playing against one of them. So I played against this person playing Death's Shadow recently. I also played against them playing some Esper Pile recently. Alright, please don't have protection for this. Okay, good. Whew. Alright, so we don't have Force backup anymore, but we do still have this turn 1 Hydra. I'm into it. Just hope that Soul Ring doesn't get misstepped. Resolves, resolves, resolves. Curses. Okay, fine. I'll just cast Sensei's Top instead. Alright, they were all in on that turn 1 Jace. I probably should have topped in the upkeep. I was just so excited they missed their land drop. Okay, so how can I salvage this? I definitely should have topped in the upkeep. But if I top, draw that Preordain, cast Preordain, put top on the bottom, Trop on the top. Or I could just put Trop on top. Okay, figured it out. Draw this, play this, replay the different top, and then we just spin that other top off the top of the deck, and then we scroll for Ancestral and win the game easily. Oh no, don't do stuff. Stand still. So I think I could still make all the plays I want to make. So if I draw Preordain right now and Force of Will this, I like that. Then I can cast Gorger. Yeah, I'm just going to slam Gorger, and then next turn I'll scroll for Ancestral and hopefully take over. Alright, they know my card in hand is top, so I can have 6 safely here. Bummer. That was the only super lame thing they could have done there. Let's hope they don't play Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm in the main. The Ancestral, or the Misstep's already in the graveyard. They can't snap here. Alright. Force of Will, pitching Treasure Cruise. Alright, so we are in a full-on one-armed slap fight here. But I have Sensei's Top, which is a good card to have in a slap fight. Grape Shot, Misstep, PO. So I'm going to float the Misstep on top in case I need it this turn. Like if they draw Ancestral, I'll just crack that right off. But if they don't do that, then I'll rearrange to draw PO next turn. So I'm going to put PO back on top with Misstep under it. Oh wait, oh yeah, I do want the PO, but I'm going to lose the Misstep because I have to tap mana, or I have to crack my fetch. That's fine. Build your own Ancestral Recall here for 4 mana. Alright, it resolved. We're getting somewhere. I'm going to play the non-fetch land because I want to maximize top value using the fetch in the future. Okay, just naked Snapcaster Mage. Pretty sure I don't care about that. It was weird they didn't counter the Sensei's Top if this was their plan. Yeah, right on time with that one. Their hand probably has Standstill in it and they're just trying to get some pressure on before they stick it. Ooh, Narset and Snapcaster. Both of these are excellent cards. I'm going to get the Snap so I can snap Ancestral. Snap, Ancestral, and then I'll cast Narset with my remaining mana. If there are 2 fetchable lands left in the deck. Yep. Now we're sticking Narset with Force back up here. Feels pretty good. Oh. Let's get this Time Twister on the stack for next turn. With Narset hanging out. Okay, I don't care about that. Not enough to counter it. I mean, I wish it didn't happen, but what are you going to do? Alright, so we bricked a lot of cards in their deck. Like, they have an Ancestral, Brainstormed, Pondered. They probably have more than one Standstill in their deck. So just Narset being in play bricks a lot of their options. So I could still draw Academy this turn, so I probably don't want to play this island. Let's go for a spin. So they do have a Force, but so do I. Whee! God, that's messed up every single time. Oh, we also have Wheel. I don't actually want a Wheel because my hand's great. So, do I have Lethal Storm here? Because I have Grape Shot, Snap Grape Shot. 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. That costs 6 mana. 5, 6. So the first one does 7. The next one does 9. That's Xaxes? Is that true? Alright, so 7 puts them to 9. And then Snap is Storm 8. I think we got this. Do I have the right colors of mana to do it? No. So I need... Yeah, I need double blue, double red. And I only have... I have to pick one or the other. So I think I'm gonna... crack Lotus for blue, Ponder, and see where it goes. That sucks. I was so excited about that play. If this Ponder finds Mox Ruby, though, we can just win. Alright, PO counts. Three, 4, float the top, float the top. I'm going to pick up Narset. That gives them a chance to have Ancestral Recall in their hand right now, but I'm just going to hope they don't. Alright, so I do still have a land drop, so I can PO for 3 again. Yeah, not having a blue artifact source is pretty lame. Yeah, so I'll just draw 3 again. This is pretty much free because I still have a land drop. Alright, and if I draw Academy, which I did, it gets a lot better. Alright, so here's Academy. And I think I can win now. I should be able to float red, Herc myself, and then Grape Shot for lethal. So Herc myself leaves 4 floating, then I get 2 of it back, and then I still have double blue available. Yeah, we should have this. And Storm was already lethal enough. I got lost in the counting, and Storm was super lethal all by itself, so we're good. But even if they have Grape Shot or Flusterstorm for this Grape Shot, we still can snap it back. And Grape Shot is nice. Being able to play PO as a Storm deck still without needing Tendrils is pretty exciting. Alright, so they're playing land still. So I want all of these sorts of things. Counter spells. I don't want Lightning Bolt. I'm not going to need Hurkyl's Recall. I do like the draw 7s with Narset in these fair blue matchups. That's just another way to cheese them out. And Merchant Scroll I usually like cutting, or I can cut one top. Top definitely won us that game, but I do like going down to one, especially against decks that could have Null Rod. So, do I want to bring in Gorger or not is the only other question, and I don't think that I do. They showed me multiple main deck Swords to Plowshares, and I don't think they're going to board them out. So, I might actually want to go to 0 Gorgers. Is that better? If I'm doing that, what am I bringing in? Probably the extra land, or the extra bolt, or bring the bolt back. I think having one Gorger, in case we get a chance to do what we did against Montolio earlier, where we combo off to make a giant Gorger and Time Walk all in one turn. And I do have a bunch of counter spells, so yeah, I like the one Gorger for sure. Did I just talk myself into playing a second? If I do that, what am I cutting? It would be an Opal probably. Either Opal or Merchant Scroll would be the cut. I could also cut one PO and just try to be a little fairer. Like hedge a little bit. Maybe that's crazy. But they are a Narset deck. No, I like that against a almost certainly Narset deck. Okay, let's do this. I wouldn't fault anyone for going deeper, getting this Bolt and the Trop in, or more Gorgers. I'm going to have to talk to Justin about what he does in these sort of matchups. Alright, so we're on the draw. This hand, it has a lot of potential, but doesn't actually do anything. But I think I'm going to keep it. Because they're not really blazing out of the gates either with their standstill deck. Well, there's that. Alright, please don't have force backup. Ashiok, Game Ender. I think I have to force this thing, as lame as that is. And I'm going to pitch Flusterstorm to do it. I'd rather have Time Walk in my hand on this particular board state. The fact they didn't make a land drop here, I would have thought that they had a counterspell, but what do I know? Ooh. Hello, call. So, do I want to try to jam out this Oko turn 1? So if I make Lotus, sack for blue, I can cast, so that's 3, 4, 5. I can cast Oko Time Walk this turn. I'm going to try it. I'm just trying to get ahead of Standstill. And I can make a food now and then make it an elk on my Time Walk turn and get to work here. He said GG. Oh, wow. Unbeatable. That was insane. Oko is Broko. Alright, so a respectable 4-1. Only lost to one of the best Magic players, or one of the best Vintage players there is on what's probably a horrendous matchup. All right, so Oko easily won 2 games by himself. I want some generic bounce spell in this deck, so I'm not ice cold to a like Leyline of Sanctity in the future. But otherwise, this deck feels really good. Justin might be onto something here. Everyone knows PO is dead, which might mean PO is good again. If I can play PO, I will play PO. So I'm going to put some more work into this. Thanks for watching, as always. Hit that sub button if you liked it, and feel free to talk to me about the videos in the comments or on Twitter at Bosch and Roll. See you next time.